Hello, my name is Leah McMillan. I'm the Chief Marketing Officer with Trend Micro. Trend Micro is one of the largest and most trusted cybersecurity companies in the world. We have over 7,000 employees who are all striving to make the world safe for exchanging digital information. And one of our philosophies is not just about making the world safe, but it's about making the world a better place. And certainly one of the things we do is look to support initiatives that are near and dear to our hearts in our local communities. That's why Trend is a proud sponsor of 24-Hour Yogapalooza in support of CHIO. Unfortunately, many of us in Canada, in the Ottawa area, are parents who have known the pain of what it's like to have a child diagnosed with cancer. We know the journey of what it's like to spend hundreds of hours at CHIO. And we also are so thankful to be in a place where the good doctors and nurses and staff at CHIO can support our journey and help heal our children. Thank you so much for being part of 24-Hour Yogapalooza and making a difference in the lives of kids with cancer.
Welcome everyone to my 24-Hour Yogapalooza class. My name is Laura D'Alessandro. If you like this class, please donate to my CHIO page you can find in the comments below. And I would like to give a special shout out to two nurses who work at CHIO, Jennifer Jones, my sister-in-law, and my friend Tamara Draper. Thank you so much for all the amazing work that you do. Enjoy the class. Today I'll be leading you through an all levels flow. You may need some blocks for practice, and if you don't have blocks, you could also use books or maybe even cushions, and it may not be necessary. So we'll get started today in Savasana, laying down on our backs. And feel free to take up as much room as you'd like, maybe even taking your feet and your hands off of your mat. Begin to release any tension that you're holding on to in your face and your jaw. Soften through the neck and the shoulders. And allow your body to surrender to gravity. Begin to tune into your breathing, simply observing how it is today in your body without judgment. Begin to visualize a seashore and the way that the waves go up onto the sand and then withdraw back into the ocean. Begin to embody this in your breath. Inhaling as the water comes up the beach and exhaling as it recedes. And begin to restrict the back of your throat a little bit, perhaps starting to make that ujjayi oceanic breath. If at any point in your practice you start to feel like you're losing control of your breathing, begin to incorporate this ujjayi breath into the practice to help control the nervous system and bring it back to a regular state. If at any point you need to take a break during the practice, feel free to go into a child's pose or an easy seat. And trying not to disconnect from the breath at any point during the practice. And slowly begin to bring a little bit of movement into your fingers, toes, wrists, and ankles. On your next inhalation, bring the arms up over the head, maybe walking the legs in a little bit closer to each other, taking a full body stretch like you're just waking up. And then on your next exhalation, bringing the knees into the chest, maybe swaying side to side. Massaging the low back and the sacrum. And then begin to raise your arms and legs up towards the ceiling. Start to find a little bit of strength in your core. Begin to flex your feet so that your toes are coming towards your face. If you need to keep a soft bend in the knees here, feel free to. And start to move the wrists, ankles, get all the cracks and pops out. And then begin to cast a magic spell with your limbs. So just moving in any way that feels good, but try to keep your core stable. And try to keep your back firmly planted on the ground. And then we'll bring this all back in, bringing the knees back towards the chest. Hold on to your hamstrings again, and then if it feels good, start to rock up and down the spine a few times. If this doesn't feel good for your spine, then we'll come to meet in a neutral tabletop position. Making sure that your hands are stacked underneath of your shoulders, knees underneath your wrists. And if you have wrist sensitivities, you can try this up on your fists. And then begin to take a couple rounds of cat and cow, inhaling up, exhaling, curling under, really arching through the back, spreading through the shoulder blades. Inhaling up, drawing the shoulder blades together, lifting up the chin, opening up through the throat. Exhaling under. If you'd like to make any intuitive movements here, feel free to, maybe a little bit of a barrel roll. And then coming back to a neutral tabletop position, tuck your toes under and start to send your hips up and back for our first downward dog. Feel free to keep a generous bend in the knees if you need to. And if you have wrist sensitivities, you can always do this from your forearms. And while we're here, feel free to sway side to side a little bit, feeling a side body stretch. Any movements that feel good are welcome. And then begin to bring your feet about hips width distance apart and start to walk your hands to the back of your mat. Add a generous bend into your legs. Hold on to opposite elbows and ragdoll over the legs. Feel free to invite a rocking sway, maybe a little wave up and down. And then coming back to stillness, release your left hand to the ground, planting your fingertips down. And we're going to inhale the right arm up, opening up to the side. Adding a gentle bend into the left knee will help with this openness. On your next exhalation, bring the right hand down, tenting your fingers, bending into the right knee and inhaling the left arm up. Exhale, brings the hand down. And then we'll walk or meet back in that tabletop position. Extend your right foot back behind you, tucking your toes and either pulsing or just finding a sweet spot and holding, finding a stretch for your calf. And then start to lift the leg up so that it's parallel with the ground. Toes are pointing down. Feeling a little bit of strength through the core. And then we're going to start to swing it out to the side, planting the foot down. Walk your hands back towards you and come all the way up. Inhale the arms up. And then exhale, bring the left hand, tented fingertips down. If you need a block for a little bit of height, feel free to grab it. And then exhale the right arm over. Maybe start to bend into the right elbow, bringing the right hand behind your head, neck, or maybe even down to your shoulders. Shining your chest up towards the ceiling a little bit more, opening up through the chest. Breathing here. Release this, bringing the arm up, and then slowly coming all the way up with both arms. Find length through the spine, and then exhale over the other way. Right hand on the leg, left arm over. Reaching through those top fingers. Inhale to come back up to center. Find length through the spine. And then exhale, bring the hands down. We're going to bring that right foot towards the front of our mat on the outside of our hand. Tucking the left toes under, lift the knee up, and you'll find yourself in a lizard lunge. Start to open up the chest here. And feel free to allow the right leg to relax out, coming onto the knife edge of your foot. Maybe even bringing your right hand to the inner thigh and giving it a gentle push. And maybe you bring your knee down. If you want to take this a little more gently. If you'd like to deepen this, feel free to come down onto your left forearm. Slowly release the leg, bringing the right hand back down onto the ground and coming up. We're going to lift that back knee and then start to bring your right foot all the way back for plank. Option to exhale down chaturanga, inhaling through upward dog, and then exhaling back downward facing dog. And for this downward facing dog, try to focus on the strength and stillness, spreading the fingers, shoulders are active. And again, option to bend those knees at any point if you need to. And then begin to widen your feet at the back of your mat so that they're at the edges. Toes are pointing out a little bit. Begin to make your way all the way back. And then we're going to meet in a Malasana squat at the back of our mats. And really make sure that you're abducting your legs. Bring the arms out long in front and slowly begin to lift up using your glutes and legs. Maybe your toes are even hovering. Extend all the way up. Maybe you take a little back bend at the top and then exhale, come back down. Bring your arms, your hands to the ground and then walk back out. into a tabletop. Extend your left leg behind you, tucking your toes, and either pulse or find a sweet spot. And start to raise that leg up, pointing the toes down. Try to keep your hips level. And then slowly start to swing your leg out towards the left, planting your foot, walking your hands back, and coming all the way up. Inhale the arms up. And then exhale, bringing the right hand to the ground, maybe on a block, maybe with your fingertips tented. And then option to bring the left arm up and over, or maybe you bring the hand towards the back of your head, neck, or top of the shoulders, opening up a little bit more through the chest. Breathe here. Remember that Ujjayi breath, slight constriction at the back of the throat, even inhalations and exhalations. Slowly release the left arm, inhaling both arms up, finding length. And then exhale over the other way. Feel really grounded in your right leg. Really pull through those fingertips. Inhale, both arms back up. Find length. Exhale, bring the hands to the ground, walk them out, and then we'll bring the left foot towards the front of our mat on the outside. Curling the back toes under, lifting the leg, and opening up through the chest. You can stay right here, or maybe allow that left leg to splay open a bit. Maybe bringing a hand to the inside. And you can also come down a little bit lower if you prefer. And slowly release the leg, planting both hands down on the mat, rising up, lifting the back leg up, and then bringing the left foot to meet the right. Option to exhale down through chaturanga, inhaling up, upward dog, and we'll all meet in downward dog. And bring the big toes to touch at the back of your mat. Inhale the right foot up, flexing through the foot. On the exhalation, draw the knee in towards the chest, curling through the spine, and then maybe stepping through or maybe swinging the leg around to get there. And we're coming into a high lunge, so making sure your feet are on opposite tracks first. Slowly inhale all the way up with your arms. And then planting that back foot, we're gonna open up to warrior two. So you may need to bring a little bit of distance between the 2 feet. Make sure that your hips are opening up to the side. Shoulders are relaxed. Slowly start to bring your arm down to your bent leg. Inhaling the left arm up and over. Grounding through that back foot, really pulling through those top fingers. Inhaling to come back to warrior two. And then exhale, cartwheel the hands down to the ground. Bring your foot back. Option to do a vinyasa, exhaling down and up. Exhale back, downward dog. Finding our breath again. Even inhalations and exhalations, maybe with a slight constriction in the back of the throat. Bring the big toes to touch. Inhale the left leg up, flexing through the foot. And then exhale, bring the knee in towards the chest, curling the spine. Option to step it through or around. We're setting up for high lunge on this side. Inhaling to come all the way up, finding length. And then planting the back foot down on the ground on an angle. We're opening up, warrior two. Finding our warrior. Start to bring the arm down to the bent leg and then inhale the right arm up and over, grounding the right foot, stretching through the fingertips. Feel a long line of energy going all the way up through the side body. Inhale back to warrior two. And then straighten the front leg. We're going to bring all the toes to face the same side. Holding on to the waist. We're going to inhale here. Try to ground your hips, kind of like you're trying to come out of your hips with your spine. Take a breath, and then on the exhalation, start to hinge at the hips, bringing your hands down to the mat. Option to bend the legs a little bit here if you find you have tight hamstrings. We'll take a full breath in here. And then on the exhalation, start to hinge forward even more, walking the hands back, about shoulders width distance, and coming down as far as you can. And you can play here, maybe widening the stance to make it a little bit easier for you, or you can bring the feet closer together to make it a little more challenging. And again, always option to bend the knees. And breathing here. On your next inhalation, walk your hands out in front, halfway lift, take a breath. On the next inhalation, holding onto the hips, come all the way back up. Point your toes out slightly and maybe shorten your stance just a little bit. We're going to bring our arms up into cactus and then start to bend into the legs, lifting all your toes and then adding a little pulse here, finding your glutes. Bring your hands down to your legs and then take a breath. On the exhalation, start to bring your right shoulder down, maybe looking over your left. I'm mirroring you now, by the way. Be sure to abduct through the legs. Inhale to come back up to center. And then exhale down the other way, maybe looking over your right shoulder. Inhale back to center. And then this time we're going to do the same move, but maybe do it hands-free this time. Try it out. So on the exhalation, start to exhale, drawing the right arm over, left arm up. And then right away, we're going to switch over to the other side. Left arm over, right arm up. Keep those legs strong. And then inhale back to center, coming all the way up, straightening the legs. Bring the toes back in, inhaling the arms up. Finding length. And then exhale the arms down by your side. We'll take a step towards the front of our mat. Inhale the arms up. And then exhale back, chair pose. You can have a little bit of distance between the feet. Hands can be together or far apart. Maybe pick up your toes. Again, shifting your weight back a little bit. Start to bring your hands down into prayer. And then begin to twist over towards the right, maybe hooking your left arm around your right leg, opening up to the side. Option to stay right here, or if you'd like, you can try to do a little side crow here, bringing your hands to the ground, shifting your weight over, and then maybe your legs come off the ground. If you did that, we're coming back down, coming back to center. We'll do the other side, hooking the right arm over the left leg, twisting to the side, maybe staying here, or maybe bringing the hands down, trying out that crow. And then slowly come back down, come back to center. Bring your arms out in front of you and then slowly start to descend, coming to a seat. Maybe planting the hands down to start, leaning back, keep the chest open, and then begin to pick up your feet. Maybe your hands come up too. And if you can straighten your legs, feel free to do that as well. On the exhale, see if you can exhale everything from the low belly. No stale air. And then slowly stretch out, low boat, hovering the shoulders, hovering the feet. And then slowly come all the way down to your mat. And bring the knees in towards the chest. Give yourself a little hug. Take a moment here to catch your breath. Holding on to the backs of your hamstrings, start to rock your way up to a seated position, extending the legs out long in front of you. Bring the hands down by your hips, roll the shoulders back, push down through the hands. Feel really grounded throughout, flexing through the toes, lifting up through the chest. And we'll inhale the arms up, finding more length through the spine. Exhale, hinging forward. Feel free to add a generous bend to the legs, holding on to maybe the toes, maybe the legs, or maybe keeping your hands down by your side. And wherever you are, try to find length through the spine so you're not flexing too much into this to get deeper. You want to imagine that you're trying to drag your stomach down your legs almost. Whenever you get there, start to really relax into it as much as you can. If you find yourself very tight in this position, just visualize that you're creating a little bit of space with each breath that you're taking. On the exhalation, sinking into that space just a touch more. Slowly inhale back up. Release whatever you are holding on to and place your hands behind you, fingers facing your body. Draw your shoulders back, opening up through your chest. Point your toes. Keep your inner legs wrapping. We're going to inhale to come up for a reverse plank. Adjusting as you need to. And if it feels safe for your neck, feel free to let your head drop back. Slowly release back down. And then start to bring your right leg in towards your chest, giving yourself a little hug. Spine is long and straight. And we'll cross the right foot over the left leg. So we're coming into a twist, and you're welcome to stay right here if this feels like enough. You want to make sure that your sit bones are both grounded through the twist. So you might need to keep this leg extended. You may also want to place a little cushion or a block underneath for a little bit of support. If you are a little bit more flexible, a little bit more open, you can also bend the left leg in, so long as you still feel centered. And then begin to twist over towards the right, but try not to use your hands and your arms to get there. We're just doing it a couple times. And coming back to center. Exhaling as you twist. Inhaling as you come back. Exhale, twist. And this time we'll hold, placing the right hand down on the ground and then maybe hooking the left arm over. And if this doesn't feel accessible, you can just hold on to the leg. Be sure that wherever you are, your spine is nice and long, chest is open. And imagine your head, your cervical spine as an extension. It goes all the way up. So intend your gaze behind you as much as you can. One more breath here. Slowly come back to center. We'll take a little counter twist over towards the left. And then release the legs all the way down your mat. Start to tuck your right leg in, just on the side, like tree pose, but on the ground. This is Janu Sirsasana A in the Ashtanga Primary Series. And then holding on to your leg with your right hand, start to twist over to your left just a little bit. Come back to center. Inhale the arms up, find length. And then exhale, forward fold over the left leg. Again, only going down as far as you can. Maybe you're up here, that's totally cool. Holding on to whatever you can and try to visualize that your chest is centered over that leg. So it's like a very gentle twist. Slowly start to come up, placing a hand just behind you, fingers facing the back of your mat. We're going to start to shift our weight into our right leg, coming up onto it for a modified side plank. Maybe you take this back for a modified wild thing. Opening up through the chest a little more. And on the exhalation, circle your arm all the way forward to the front again. Extend the right leg out long, and then we'll do that on the left side, bringing the left leg in, taking a little twist first towards the right, inhaling the arms up, and then exhaling over the leg. Again, only going as deep into this as you can, visualizing that you're trying to center your torso over your right leg. Slowly inhale to come up, placing your left hand just behind you, fingers facing the back. Shift your weight into your left leg. Plant your right foot down and then inhale up, modified side plank. Maybe modified wild thing, bringing it back, opening up through the chest a little bit more. Exhale, circling the arm back down. And then we'll bring the left leg up, hugging it in, finding ourselves centered on our sit bones. And then we'll cross the left leg over the right. Again, option to stay right here, maybe with a support underneath, or you can start to bend into that right leg, bringing the foot in close, making sure you're still on both sit bones. Find length first, and then on your next exhalation, we'll twist over towards the left. Inhale back to center. Exhale back. Inhale back to center. Exhale back. And this time we'll hold, placing the hand down on the ground behind us, and then maybe hooking the right arm around the left leg, or just gently holding on to it from the outside. Breathing into the twist. Twists are a great way to massage the internal organs, bringing blood flow to them. Also great for digestion. Spine is long. Head is an extension of the spine, intending the gaze behind. One more breath here. And then slowly coming back to center, just a little counter twist over towards the right. And then coming back to center. Uncrossing the legs. And we'll find ourselves coming all the way down onto our backs. Bringing the knees in towards the chest and then out towards the armpits. Option to stay right here, holding onto the shins. Or maybe we extend the feet up, holding onto the knife edge of our feet, or maybe our shins. Flexing through the feet. You can add a little gentle sway here. And try to find a little bit of relaxation through the low back. So if you find that you're really curled up high, maybe hold on a little bit lower down the leg, finding a little bit more openness. Intend your knees down towards the ground. And then bring your knees together and start to cross your left leg over your right. Bring the knees in as much as you can, and then see if you can hold on maybe to your ankles, maybe to the outside edges of your feet again, and start to flex through the feet and then pull the feet in towards you a little bit. I once had a teacher call this grabbing the bull by the horns. Breathing, just observing the body and any sensations that are arising. You can always gently soften out of this if it feels like too much. Flexing the feet will help protect the knees as it engages all the muscles around it. On your next breath, slowly release. Uncross the legs and then stretch them up towards the ceiling, pointing the toes and then flexing. Bring the knees into the chest. And then start to extend them a little bit. We're going to cross our left leg over our right. And then bring the feet out wide, holding on wherever you can. Maybe you're holding on a little higher up your leg. That is totally cool. Flex those feet to protect your knees. And gently pull this down. This is a great glute stretch. Begin to release the feet, uncrossing the legs, stretching them up, pointing the toes, and then flexing through the heels. Bring your feet down to the ground. Walk them in as close as you can to your body, about hips width distance apart. And then we'll inhale up for bridge, holding on underneath if we can, walking our shoulders in, really lifting up through the hips. Try not to close off your neck too much. So maybe point your chin up towards the ceiling a little bit more. Make sure that you're not splaying your legs open. You want to use the strength of your inner leg to keep them parallel. Maybe pushing down through the big toes to do so. And then slowly release, walking the shoulders out, coming down vertebra by vertebra. And start to extend the arms and legs out, taking up as much space as you'd like, just like the beginning. And coming into our final resting shape. And relax your forehead and the space between your brows. And begin to breathe naturally. Slacken your jaw and release your tongue. Soften through your neck. Your torso is heavy, hips are grounded. Relaxing that space between the shoulder blades. Allow yourself to feel fully supported by the earth below you. And begin to visualize your favorite color. Imagine that color is glowing. It's a little ball inside your chest, inside your heart. As you take a breath, that ball begins to expand out. And as you exhale, it comes back in. And this ball of color is full of healing energy. As you inhale, it expands out, maybe even past your body. Exhale, and it contracts in. On your next inhalation, visualize this color coming out and reaching even further, maybe your neighborhood or your city even. Keep expanding it, and then exhale, release. Inhale, and this light expands again, maybe even further out, maybe even covering the whole world. And keep expanding this healing energy, extending your love and compassion. Slowly bring a little bit of movement into your neck, bringing your head over to one side and then the other. And start to move the ankles and wrists, fingers and toes. Bring your knees in towards your chest. And then make your way up into an easy seat. And finding a long spine. Start to pull your right ear up towards the ceiling and then tilting the head over towards the left. Really finding extension through the right side of the neck. Inhale, coming back to center, and then pull the left ear up. Exhale over to the right. Inhaling back to center, and then bring the chin up as high as it can go, opening up through the front of the neck. Exhale, tuck it in, releasing the back of the neck. Coming back to center. Maybe placing a soft smile on your lips, taking a moment of gratitude. Thank you so much for joining me for practice today, and wishing you all a great rest of your day. Shanti. Peace. Thank you so much for taking my class. If you liked my teaching, you can find me on Instagram, treeing.yoga, as well as on YouTube with the same name. My YouTube channel, I mostly provide classes that are very specific for mastectomy recovery, traumatic brain injury, and then there are a few short accessible yoga classes, which I made with Shared Services Canada. Hopefully I will be adding more all levels flows to my YouTube soon. Thank you so much for practicing, and if you like the class, don't forget to donate to CHIO using my page or anyone's page. Thank you so much.